Bonjour everyone, Pantoufleee here today for a new video in which we're going to talk about the Titan HN and most importantly about Halloween in general, and we're going to try to analyze why the community is upset at Wargaming for releasing this tank. If you take a look at my YouTube channel and especially the comments that are down below the video reviewing the Titan HN, you will see that a lot of people are complaining about the tank not being good, but also people stating that the community is never pleased. It's either we get something broken and a lot of people are going to cry saying that the game is pay to win, and on the other side, when it's not broken at all and kind of an average tank, we have people complaining that it's not broken enough or it's not fun and it's not worth the money. So who do we need to trust, and did Wargaming really fucked up that Halloween event? Let's start now. In my opinion, there are two reasons that are making people disappointed over the Titan HN. The first one is the player base in World of Tanks Blitz expects the Halloween tank to be broken. It's kind of a tradition at this point, simply because if you take a look at every single year and every single release we had, every single time, if it was not a broken tank, it was at least a fun tank to drive around. And unfortunately, yes, in Blitz and most of the games, the most fun items are the most broken one. Why are a lot of people having fun with the Annihilator? Because it's an hilarious tank to play on the battlefield. You have the possibility of destroying your enemies quite fast. You also have the speed boost that allows you to be extremely versatile and go fast on the battlefield. You also have that good armor, especially in all down. Everything is perfect about the tank, right? Same for the Smasher. Even if you don't have the best armor, you can still bounce quite a lot on your turret, but also inflict nearly 900 to maybe 1k damage if you use your HE correctly. All those special abilities are making those tanks what they are and make them among the top 5 most played of tier 7 because they are fun. And this is something the Titan HN is obviously lacking. And we're gonna see through this video why it's not fun. But first, I want to introduce you to the second reason, and the second one is obviously Wargaming's fault. Wargaming is already and pretty much every single year trying to hype the Halloween event, and most of the time when they do that, they create a feeling that the tank will be broken. It was the case for pretty much every single year. It's a big event in World of Tanks Blitz, and it's kind of a shame that they failed to make the public happy and hyped over this Halloween event just because of the main reward. Because yes, even if Wargaming tries to bring some new mechanisms every single Halloween, sometimes it's failed, and it's the case here with the Titan. Now, for the rest, why it's not broken? This is a real question we should ask ourselves. Why is it not a good and fun tank? Where is the fun in the Titan? I won't tell you that I don't see any fun on the tank. And not because it's not broken, because personally I'm glad that Wargaming did not release something broken. But here, if you take a look at the Titan HN, the mobility is clearly the biggest downside. The problem is that we are playing a mobile game. When you're playing Blitz, and it's in its name, Blitz, the definition of a Blitz is something fast, okay? And when you play World of Tanks Blitz or World of Tanks Fast, you expect the tanks to act fast on the battlefield. It can have an amazing DPM, it can have an amazing armor, we don't care. What we care about is mostly the mobility. And in my opinion, releasing a Halloween tank that doesn't feature that special mobility is a huge mistake coming from Wargaming. Because even if you don't have the best DPM, if you have the mobility to circle around, it works. If you don't have the best armor, at least if you have the mobility and the gun, you can try something. But it's important for the tank to have at least 2 aspects out of this triangle: mobility, armor and gun. And you always need to stay on the mobility. You need either mobility and gun or mobility and armor. But if you put aside the mobility, then you get yourself something that is not fun to drive around. And when you take a look at most of the lines in the game, you will see that it's true. For example, let's take a look at the AT-15 line. Why are they not fun to play? And most people will tell you that they're not fun to play. Simply because those tanks, even if they have the best armor ever, the best gun ever, because they are equipped with one of the best DPM for the tier, those tanks are not played nearly at all because of their mobility. The mobility is the key point at making a tank a good or a bad one. And concerning the mobility, Wargaming failed so hard that the Titan HN is not even fun to play in mid games. Seriously, I tried only one game in Mad Games, and this was the exact one you're watching right now, and you're kind of gonna see how boring it was for me, and you can see it through my way of playing. I'm just playing the tank regularly. There is no fun. So the second part of this video is asking myself, why is this thing not broken? Once again, two reasons in my opinion. The latest Halloween implemented or introduced the Annihilator, probably the most broken tier 7 to ever exist in Blitz, and the community got really pissed at Wargaming for doing this, and they took some of the hardest flames on their forum, on the game, and a lot of people decided to quit the game because of this event. And maybe it was traumatizing for Wargaming, and they said that, okay, for this year, we are gonna go on the total opposite direction. We're gonna propose to the players something that is balanced, that doesn't outperform the rest of the tier 7, and maybe they will be happy. And once again, because the community can never be happy, we flame Wargaming once more, telling them, hey, what kind of shitty tanks are you proposing to us, right? But the second reason is, just take a closer look at the price of this thing. You pay 10 euros to get it. I know that for some of you 10 euros is quite a lot, but judging on the previous spendings I had in Blitz and judging by the price of some tanks, the most recent one and the most expensive out there being the Object 907, 10 euros is not that much for it. Of course, after you will still need to grind a little bit to get it, but in the end, Wargaming is literally giving you an average tank with which you can still do quite a lot of credits for only 10 euros. Trust me, it's over the price of most of the tier 7 that Wargaming will propose in the future. And for 10 euros, they don't want to propose you once again a completely broken tank like it was the case for the Annihilator. Because when you take a look at this, the Annihilator, yes, it was here for $12, so it's 10 euros, same price. And now we have a matchmaking completely filled with them. We see Annihilators every single day, every time you go at tier 7. And the problem is, it's ruining the matchmaking. So just imagine if Wargaming once again gave the players the possibility of getting something that would be even more broken than the Annihilator to see on the battlefield. The Annihilator plus the Titan. This would be a nightmare. So in definitive, Wargaming gave us a pretty balanced tank that, yes, is not fun to play around, but still will do some credits and will be effective on the battlefield as long as you know what you're doing. But the community raged anyway. And this is logic. Wargaming created that rage by allowing us to get broken tanks every single year during the Halloween event. Usually when people are talking about Halloween, the only word they have in mind is OP. They expect something broken. And I'm glad that Wargaming changed their way of seeing Halloween by giving us kind of a random tank, but I feel like they should have done better. In my opinion, if I was a developer, I would have insisted on something that is still fun without being broken. And to do this, in my opinion, you need to insist on the mobility. This is the key point of a fun tank. Not a single tank that doesn't have any mobility is fun to play in this game, or at least for the majority. There are still some exceptions, and we will always see exceptions. This is logic. But you see more tanks fun to play that have a good mobility rather than the ones that are having more armor and maybe a reliable gun. On top of that, and this is probably one of the greatest issues on top of the fact that this tank is not fun to play, the Titan HN is literally a worse version of the Tiger, simply because even if you equip it with the reactive armor and with all the spaced armor around, you are still weaker than a Tiger 1 because the Tiger 1 is more polyvalent on the battlefield. So you are left with a worse version of something you can acquire for free. Of course people are gonna rage because they were expecting something different. And props for Wargaming to actually trying to implement that new mechanism, the reactive armor, even if I think that it's not the best thing they should have done. Maybe if the player had the possibility of activating it itself by, I don't know, using it as a consumable. For example, here on 4 I have Adrenaline, on 5 I have my Fire Extinguisher, on 6 my Repair Kit. Maybe add a 7 or a 3 in which when I click my armor activates itself by my will. But no, Wargaming stayed on something pretty average. And this is the problem. When you are hyping a community over an event, and especially one of the most important one, you can't allow yourself to service this. It's not possible. And hopefully Wargaming learned the lesson and will try to propose us something fun without it being broken. If you enjoy, feel free to subscribe, like, and share. If you agree with me, tell me in the comments. And if you disagree, tell me also why in the comments. It's my pleasure to be able to read you and to confront ideas. This is what the comments are for. And hopefully, I'm going to see you soon for a new video. Bye.